Hey everybody, hopefully everybody's liking the videos here, and I'm very happy that we got to 100 subscribers. This type of video here that we have been doing lately is talking about the TCL S405 series, and I actually got the 55-inch now, mounted to my wall. Looks kind of small here on this video, doesn't it? But trust me, it's a pretty good size. I'm happy with it. A lot better than the 43-inch. So what are we trying to do here in this video? Well, I'm just going to be basically showing you my method of calibrating the 4K and the HDR. And it's all basically by eye. It's all by preference. And these settings can be applied to your Xbox One X or the S and the PlayStation Pro, even a 4K Blu-ray player. So the first method you want to do for every input, or especially even this home screen, everywhere you go, you want to mess with the Roku settings. That's your very first thing. And these settings are found in the app. So you have to download the app and getting to the expert picture settings in the app. And the first option should be color and brightness and picture mode. And keep that all on normal. And then the next part, it should be color space, I believe. Keep that on normal. And then the last portion that has to do with color, keep that or change that to native. Make sure edge enhancement is turned off. And also turn off, switch the gamma to 2.2. Now, after you're done with all of that, go back to home and either download YouTube app from the store. I think it's TV store or movie store, one of those. You'll find it. And go to YouTube. Okay. Now, what we're going to do now is calibrate, or show you how I calibrate for 4K. So I just go up to search, and I just had this up here earlier, but you want to type down 4K test pattern. Okay. Now, if you're on your Xbox One X, go on to the YouTube app in there. That way, your calibration will be all done in there. And you can also use the Xbox One X calibration tool, but I think it's better to use this video that I'm going to show. You'll see in a second. Boy, very slow. Test pattern. So it should show up as tobyfree.com 4K UHD test pattern H264 MP4. Okay, so click that. Now, put your video on pause and press up on your controller twice, and your video is paused and you just have a straight image to play around with. Now, your TV brightness should be normal. Your picture mode should be normal. Your picture size should be direct. And you just follow these settings if you want. Then go to advanced picture settings. Keep your dynamic contrast off. Your picture mode normal. So you just basically mess with these settings to match the corresponding details. The first portion up top has to basically do with sharpness. So you basically just want to get good edges on the lines that you see. And it's also good to have a light turned on, a very soft light turned on in your room. And just every so often glance or get close to the TV. And if you notice the lines get blurry in these circles, just play with the sharpness a bit. Now we get to brightness, and you cannot really see it here in this video. Maybe you can, but there's a dark circle in the middle of that circle there. Yeah, you can't see it, or maybe you can. Make sure the full circle is shown in the middle. It can be barely seen, about as dark as you want it to be, but there has to be basically a dim circle and a dark circle. So there's a circle inside that circle, guys. Mess with your brightness. And then you go to your contrast, and your contrast should be all the way up anyway. So keep that all the way up. Again, sharpness. And just make sure you got a pretty decent, good looking colors there. Your radio gray gradient. Now with the colors, just adjust it until you see a dark ring surrounding a circle. So right out of the box, you may get a 3D effect by just looking at the red and blue color. So I had to turn mine down just a little bit until I saw the dark edges around these circles. And there you have it. And that's how you calibrate the TV. And basically right out of the box, normal, normal, direct, normal, advanced picture settings, backlight's 100%, your brightness I turned down to 49, contrast 100, I turned my sharpness down to 19, color is 48, color temperature is normal. Alright, so that's my 4K. Now, on the same input here, which we are basically playing with just the TV input, or just the TV itself, you want to find HDR. You need to find some HDR samples. So this, oops, hold on. This is probably going to take a little bit of time, so hang in here. Like a 4K HDR test. Some of these videos will say HDR, but it's not. So just watch out on the right hand side of your screen if it says HDR. And it's not. Let's try this one. And it's not. It might be in 4K, but it won't be in HDR. This TV would have been nice if the remote had some kind of keyboard. Oops. Nope, that's not 4K. Let's try this one. There we go. HDR turned on. Now this is a perfect video here. And there's a reflection. But the first parts of this video, you're going to see darks and you're going to see whites. Now, I know this is a moving image. It may not actually really reflect darks, but you can kind of play around with the idea. And the best way to do that is just go back to your settings here, and you notice your settings are different now. Why is that? Because HDR has its own settings, guys. So for me, my TV brightness is on normal. My picture mode is on bright because you want to have a bright HDR picture. You want to have bright whites. And your TV brightness should be just kept on normal, because if it's kept dark, things start to look really weird and washed out. Direct, the picture size is direct. And with my picture settings, I kept the backlight 100, brightness 50, contrast 100. I turned my sharpness down to 10. I turned my color down to 43. I kept my temperature for my color normal. And I also went into the Roku app again, and I had to adjust those settings once again. So just follow the same settings, which will be everything except for the brightness in the picture mode, but in the color temperature. Just mess with the gamma, so 2.2's gamma, color space, normal, and the other color option on the bottom. Make that native. All right. So after tweaking it, just keep on watching HDR videos. Until you get the desired effect. You want to have dark darks and bright whites. HDR should kind of simulate how light will bounce off in real life in certain ways. So if you're looking in the sun, that rays of sunlight should be very bright compared to what's surrounding it. Likewise, shadows should be dark. So again, when you're playing with HDR, kind of be in a very soft lit room. And then just turn off all your lights and you can see the results of your calibration. Now the TCL S405 series are basically, they don't have really good HDR to begin with. They have good 4K picture. Not the best color either. But this is a really good budget TV. I really highly recommend it, especially the 55-inch. Can't go wrong with that one, boy. So, hopefully you like these calibration settings and my methods. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Okay, goodbye everybody.